I became a widow when I was 40 years old. The day after my 40th birthday, my late husband passed away. Although he'd been sick for a few years, I really did not expect that to happen. So, of course, I felt devastated and shocked. And, no matter how sick your spouse may have been, unless they tell you that, this is the end, when they pass away like that, you're devastated. And I had young children. All of my children were still in school. And I've said before, I have a special needs son. We had said when we brought him home that if God just let him live, we would spend the rest of our lives taking care of him. Well, that's not how it turned out. And so, of course, I spent the first few months just really trying to get through, just trying to figure it out, just trying to understand how I was going to go on and maintain my home, finances, take care of our children, just be there for them. And so that was really a tough time. I've told people before, people who are really close to me know that in those first 3 months, I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping. I would be up all night in my room. I would pray over my children. I would go to each of their rooms. They were asleep, and I would just pray over them, pray that they would be okay. And then the rest of the time, I would sit on my floor and I would cry. And I would cry until it was time to get up and take care of my children the next day. That is what kept me going. I know that people, meant well, and they would say things like, "Oh, you look great. It looks like there's been a weight lifted off of you," and things of that nature. And, it just didn't really help because they had no idea what I was going through. And although I'm a tough cookie, I think people just kind of took for granted that, she's really tough. God's going to see her through this. She seems like she's okay. Her and the kids are doing really great. I like to think that my kids were doing great, but they're pretty tough too. So I know what I was struggling with during that time, just not being able to rest or eat. And when you're going through that, it seems like it's never going to end. It seems like this nightmare that you cannot wake up from. But I'm here to say that I got on the other side of it. I am so thankful to God that me and my children are great. We are all doing well. They are thriving. My daughters are adults. They've moved out and they're doing their own things and living their lives. At that moment, when that first happened, the day after my 40th birthday, I didn't know how it would be. But I am so thankful that we are okay. And yes, we missed him. I know my children miss their father. And, I miss him. There are tons of things about him that I think about all the time. I'm so thankful that when I did find another spouse, or should I say he found me, that he's an understanding person. And he's never once tried to make me feel bad about speaking about my late spouse or honoring him in the ways that we choose to honor him, or having his photos still up in our home, things of that nature. So I'm so thankful that, although when that first happened, I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know how things were going to be. I'm so thankful to God that we are okay. If you're a young widow out there, just know you just keep doing what you're doing. It's tough. You're going to get through it. There will be days when you feel like you won't, but each day that you just continue is such a blessing. And one day you'll look back, and although you will miss that person and all those memories that you made with them, I like to think that just living your best life is the best way to honor your loved one who has passed on. I hope you have a great day, and I hope this encouraged you in some way.